My first check in the NBA, I think it was like, I hate to even put that, it makes me uncomfortable to talk about it, but I think it was $35,000. That was like more money than I can ever think of. And
high school graduates, straight to the league, I ain't waiting for my knee to blow. Yesterday I was needing this dough. Get it? I was needing this dough.
Here we are in the Chase Center. I was just talking to Klay. Obviously, this is my first time in the building talking to you about this place, your heart still back in Oracle a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Man, it's a big piece of me still in Oakland, you know, just because of the dynastic run we had there. But change is great, and I know this is going to be a state-of-the-art facility, and I know it's just going to bring people, not only from the States, but all over the world, are going to come and want to experience this. So to know that was a big, you know, part of building it, and the brand, I mean, the Warrior brand is just, it motivates me to put on a show for the fans out here.
Did your parents talk to you about being pro athletes, about, you can do this, or this is unreasonable, this is unreachable, or did they push you like, you guys can do it?
Yeah, I mean, we were lucky we had jeans on our side. I didn't know I was gonna be 6'7". I knew I had a chance to be tall, but just seeing what my dad did for a living, I always wanted to play in the NBA. And I knew the opportunity was there for me. If I was kind of late bloomer, man. I didn't really grow to be this tall until I was about a freshman in college, so I might have been overlooked at times in the recruiting process, but I knew in the back of my mind that I could always shoot the ball, and my athleticism and growth, they'll catch up, but just keep, honing those skills that will last forever.
How old were you when you moved down to Southern California?
I was 14.
You were 14?
Yeah.
Going from Lake Oswego to Southern California, that's not far distance-wise, but it's a big change in kind of the culture of living. Did that affect you a little bit?
Not really. I mean, I just love to play sports. We were lucky. We moved right next to a park with a basketball court, a field, so I'll be there every day. And then I say the biggest cultural difference between Oregon and Southern California was playing 3 sports in Oregon. Like, you kind of did that. There was football season, basketball, baseball, but when you got to California, everything was so hyper-competitive because there's so many great players. And I mean, I saw what a stage parent was really like. There were so many parents that wanted to see their son or their daughter be the next MJ or the next Mia Hamm, and I thought that was kind of overkill at times. I was like, you can't force a kid to do anything if he doesn't love it.
Of course. And growing up, did your parents ever teach you about money?
We would talk about it, but nothing would prepare me for
what you're going through
the
now.
money I would come into. Even when my dad played, they were making great money, like millions of dollars, but it wasn't the BRI it is now.
Of course.
It wasn't the salary cap it is now. So I remember him telling me, like, when Moses Malone signed for $6 million for like a year in like the mid-'80s, and how that was like, oh, the NBA is over with. They're giving this player $6 million a year. Like, how can they even afford that? So I just asked him about stories about contracts back then and like what provisions they got in their contracts. And I don't think, obviously it's a star-driven league, but the players have a great say nowadays, and with the Players Association, it's pretty cool to see how far, we've come and how much that's tightened.
Tell us a little bit why you chose Washington State.
I just loved the coach at the time, Tony Bennett, and the fact he made it to the NBA and was, 5'11" white guy from Wisconsin who had no athleticism and was all skill. That really, I attracted to that because, like, he can get me to the point where I have the genes, the talent. I know if I work under his tutelage, like, he can get me to the level I want to be at. I think I realized the harsh reality of the business of the NBA my rookie year. I remember we were in the Arco Arena playing the Kings, and I remember Monte got traded, and he had to find out through SportsCenter. I felt for him because he given the Warriors 8 great years, and it's just the unfortunate side is that instant news cycle. He had to find out like that. I felt for him, and I learned a lot playing with Monte, and even that just the free agency part of that team. Like, you're expendable. You're an asset to an NBA franchise, so you got to make the most of it while you're in it. And I've been blessed to be with one franchise. That's rare.
Going back to that word, assets, and I always talk about this with business. That word is used a lot. And when you talk to people with a lot of money, They never talk about making money. They talk about the assets they own. Like
Yeah.
the Golden State Warriors is an asset. Real estate is an asset. Art is an asset. But you talked about a player, a human being, as an asset. Is that a word that a lot of NBA players talk about? Like, we're assets, that's a tradable asset, that's a young asset?
I don't think we really talk about it because it's kind of taboo because we feel like we're more than just assets. We feel like we're people with feelings. But I mean, at the end of the day, Steve Kerr tells us that's why we make boatloads of money, is to be able to just pick up our family and move on a whim. That's the nature of the business. I mean, it's been like that since free agency came into play. I don't know when that was, but yeah, we don't really talk about like, oh, you're an asset, I'm an asset, but we know deep down like we're expendable and no one's above the franchise. So, you know, there's a little selfishness there to make as much as you can and make the most of this window we have to play in the NBA because it really is a privilege. It's not a right.
Of course.
So for us to be here and play a child's game for a living, that in itself is like a win.
I oftentimes think about that because you do hear it around like the draft a lot or free agency, like they acquired some young assets.
Yeah. If you really think about it, though, that starts in AAU basketball when you're like 14 years old. You know, there's shoe companies trying to get this prospect on his team, or there's, you know, the collegiate teams who are signing multi-million-dollar deals with these apparel companies, and they kind of want these big-time shoe companies want to shuttle these players into a program that'll wear their gear. And then hopefully they'll have the upper hand on signing him when he enters the draft. And there's only a handful of players who really experience that every year. There's always a, you know, method behind the madness. I mean, there's a reason these, you know, AU teams are, especially social media, are so popular, whether they have an Adidas or a Nike across their chest. There's bigger powers at play than you believe when you're a child, especially. You know, you're just out there for the love of the game. But, I mean, yeah, there's these corporations who want to, you know, make you the face of their company.
And in college, you just kept getting better, and you decided to leave and skip that final year of college. Tell us, what was that like, thinking through that?
That was definitely my decision. Money obviously had a factor, because if you're a surefire first-round pick, that's hard to turn down. I mean, that's millions of dollars you're going to come into, and the opportunity to play for an NBA franchise. I mean, I wasn't really ready for the schedule. I don't think any rookie is. Your life isn't just academics and sport anymore. It's all sports, which you're professional now. But I just knew the chance to be a first-round pick was too great to pass up.
What did you think about that, the fit to play?
Finally, I mean, can't make money off your likeness? I mean, that's the most non-American thing I've ever heard, you know? Like, these schools are profiting, especially the big-time schools. When you think of college football, the SEC, the Big Ten, and then you see these college coaches who, you know, are getting paid millions of dollars a year, and you can't pay your labor force, which is the players, or even give them a little trust fund when they leave. That's just crazy to me, especially, you know, when you see the Texas Football Network makes like $100 million a year. And yes, you get a great education, you get your degree, you get a chance to network, but there's nothing really amateur about playing big-time college sports, because it reminds me of more of a EuroLeague season. You only have like 35 regular games, but that once you get to the NCAA tournament and you see, you know, ESPN signing billion-dollar deals, you're like, well, I'm only getting a stipend check this much. It's kind of backwards, but I was very proud of you guys for doing that. Now, like, player at, you know, a big-time player at UCLA, if he's from the city of Los Angeles, can go hold a camp in his inner city and get paid for it, which is amazing. You couldn't do that back in the day, and that's sweet.
And the thing is, I think most people didn't even understand it. It's not that the players are going to get paid to play.
Yeah.
As I said, and I agree with you, it's the most American thing. Like, if I have a name, likeness, and image that somebody is willing to pay for, i.e. in the form of a jersey with my number on it, or my name on it, or put me in a video game, I get paid for the use of my likeness or image. Not that they're going to pay me. I still get the scholarship. That's what I get paid to play.
Yeah.
But I get to use my name and image. As thinking about name and image, all your deals are very specific to who you are. How do you think about overall your whole business catalog of deals and sponsorships that you choose?
It's hard, man. I'm just getting into the world of investing, especially in Silicon Valley.
Right here, exactly.
Everyone thinks it's so easy, like, oh, just invest in startups or venture capital. I'm like, okay, but where do I do that? You know, it's like, you know, you can't just put your money in a microwave and triple it like that. You know?
Exactly.
So anything that I want to get into, I kind of try to refer back to what I know best, and that's basketball.
Smart.
So my financial advisor, my agent. And then what's really nice is we can lean on the NBA PA which is great, to like vet any bad business there is, you know? So But back in the day, especially when I was in my first couple years, like I was trying to grab any deal I could get.
No one helping you?
Little guidance, but it was kind of short-sighted to think about it, you know, just like get the money, post it on Instagram, and it might have been something I never believed in, whether it was a sports drink or a wristband or.
And you were doing that just like, I just want checks.
I just want all the money I can get, you know, instead of like thinking like a real businessman, get some equity, push a product you really believe in, a healthy product, long term. Yeah, and now that I've gotten older and I've, you know, won a lot of basketball games and done my part there, it's easier to, you know, network. It's easier to meet people, especially out here, who do big things in the tech world or real estate or whatever it is. It's because everyone, at the end of the day, wants to be a winner. And it's easy to attach yourself to a winner because that usually means you work really hard and you're a master of your craft. So I still got a long way to go in the world of investing, but I feel like I'm just getting started.
Did you ever think about time versus money? Like, okay, this is gonna take me a certain amount of time?
I didn't really until we started like playing until June. And like, first and foremost for me, it was invest in your health, your well-being, because actually, you know, when I heard LeBron invest $1 million in his body a year, that makes complete sense. You can invest $1 million to make 80, 90, whatever it is. That's an easy decision. And that comes first and foremost. And then anything I believe in, you know, I'm a huge chess player. I'm not the best, but I really love to play, get that mental workout.
Yep.
Got my first boat, so I love to get on the water.
Oh, nice.
So those are two things I really want to like grow with, whether it's playing with the youth in chess or, you know, the newest advanced nautical company, just stuff like that, you know. We have the opportunity now to invest in what we believe in, so.
Of course.
Just stuff I really have interest in outside of basketball.
And did just age change that, or did you, when you started making a lot more money, change that?
Yeah, honestly, when I made a lot more money. Like, when I was on my rookie deal, I just wanted as much as I get, and I wanted to save as much as I can get, you know? So you obviously have to have a good team around you, because I did not, you know, go to college and become a savvy venture capitalist. I went there to hone my basketball skills, and you got to be humble too. I mean, there's so many great people out here who've done amazing things, and they're so welcoming to us to shadow them at work. You just got to be open ears and know, like, we're still at the grassroots stages of, like, the knowledge of investing.
All of a sudden, you just dropped. You're now no longer an amateur/collegiate athlete. You're a professional athlete, and someone hands you a check. Mm-hmm. Tell us what that transition was like, and what was that first big check you got?
I mean, I still remember the number when I saw that check, and it was like incredible. You know, you just like try to keep it simple, and you try not to overspend on nice things. You know, I got the first purchase was my pool table, so I still have that to this day.
You still have the first pool table?
Oh yeah, I still got my billiards table. That was my first purchase, and I just love life experience. You know, I love to travel. I grew up in Oregon, so I love being in the outdoors. And those are two things, like, it's not like that money made me happier. It was great to see that check, but I lived such a great life in Pullman at the time on my $1,100 a month stipend. That went so far in Pullman, man. I could get as much Taco Del Mar as I wanted. I could go to Target and have a field day. Wealth is a mindset, man. If you have the relationships and the experiences around you, those are priceless, you know? It's better than any car you can get, any big house. It's just about those relationships to me.
And did you make any mistakes? Buy anything silly or stupid?
Yeah, I made some mistakes, like hoarding. You know, I would buy stuff especially with the clothes, man, like the NBA styles. I mean, I would just have a full closet, and I would only wear about 5% of the closet. And I'm like, what am I gonna do with all these extra clothes, man? So I had these like hoarding tendencies that I had to rid, and it took some time, but what also killed me for a while was the team poker game. I mean, we had some sharks on the.
Really?
Yeah, we had some sharks.
How did you guys play?
Every road trip, and it's like.
On the plane or in the hotel?
On the plane, you know.
I
mean, it's a great way to build camaraderie, but.
Of course.
It's tough to do on your rookie deal, especially when you're playing guys who've been in the league for like 8-9 years. But that competitive drive comes in, especially with poker. You know, it's such like an emotional game.
Total emotional game.
If I got to buy them more than once, then when I have to tell my financial advisor what happened, it's not good. It's like going to the principal's office.
And when you were a rookie, did you get caught buying in more than once, a couple times?
A few times, especially like I'm like my second and third year. I've got much better, but that was one of my faults, man. I love playing cards.
I'm a card player too. Is it hard to splurge on yourself? Like if you want something, you obviously think everything through at the time.
I'm lucky though. I'm pretty simple, man. My tastes aren't that extravagant. I don't like to collect cars. But I did splurge on a boat. I mean, I love
By the way,
the
boat
water.
is that's a big splurge.
I know, but it wasn't anything crazy. It was like buying a sports car, but I know I'm gonna get my use out of it just because it's like the water brings me peace. You know, especially with my foundation now, I'm gonna have the ability to take kids out to go fishing who never had that opportunity before,
Yep.
which is really cool to me. And I just think it's like therapeutic to be out there on the water.
Tell me a little bit about the foundation. Why'd you start it? What do you
Yeah.
want to do with it?
This is something I want to do for the rest of my life, you know? We're in such a great position to be public figures, whether we like it or not. And it was easy to think of the Bahamas because my dad came from the Bahamas, my grandfather's from there, my whole father's side is from there. And I was so lucky to be able to visit Nassau since I was a kid. So that was always a special place in my heart. And we hold a kids camp there every summer with Jeff Rogers. It's so fun to go down there and just hang out with the kids. And at the end of the day, it's still a third world country. You know, as beautiful as it is, there's still so many people in need, especially after Hurricane Dorian, man. It was really tough to hear the firsthand accounts of what was happening. You know, as one of the more famous Bahamians, I feel I have to speak up. I have to do something, especially if people see how much money we make. You got to do something. Like, you got to give back to the community. And that's something I'll be doing every summer. It's going down there, whether it's getting them resources just to go to school or, you know, a kitchen stove or the opportunity to play basketball and maybe get a D3, D2 scholarship one day and just pass on the knowledge I know and just spend time with these people because Bahamas is so close to my heart. And just being able to do stuff in the Bay as well, you know, whether it's in Oakland or San Francisco, San Jose. There's so many kids that look up to us, and with the Family Foundation, we're going to be able to put on events that will, you know, hopefully be in the community for a long time.
You'll obviously be known as a champion, I think for sure a Hall of Famer, but is there something else you want to be known for?
I just don't want to be known for being a great shooter. I want to be known as someone who was out there in the town and who was easy to talk to, who helped a lot of kids, you know, reach the level they wanted to get to, whether it was playing Division I basketball or just getting to have ability to go to JUCO or even a four-year college. To help out so many kids and generations to come, that's amazing.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, Klay Thompson.
Oh, that was easy. Wow.